It's been 7 years since Mason had first encountered PMO, and now it's become part of his daily ritual. He religiously jerks off to videos of cutie girls every day because he thinks it gives him happiness. But he soon becomes trapped. He looks for happiness in fapping, and now he's become a frustrated young man who hates girls but still jerks off to them. If you are a young man in your teens or in your 20s and you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. And I hate to break it to you. Boy, you are addicted. You are addicted to porn. And the sad thing is, you just won't accept it. And to be fair, you can't accept it because acceptance is the hardest thing to do in the beginning. But you must do it if you want to better yourself. It's the same thing like with a cigarette smoker. A cigarette smoker would never admit that they're addicted. They'll say, yeah, I can go without it. It's just that I like it, hence I do it. Hell, if you are really not addicted to it, why don't you try going off of cigarettes for, let's say, 2 weeks? You know you can't. Deep down, you know that you're addicted, but your mind just won't let you accept it. Because once you accept it, the fact that you are addicted will start to scare you. And why, in your right minds, would you want to scare yourself? You don't. That is why it is very difficult to accept that you are addicted to something. There is this concept of cognitive dissonance theory in psychology, where what you think and believe and what you do are contrasts of each other. For example, a smoker, they know that it's not doing any good to them. It causes cancer, it causes so many other problems in their bodies, but they feel good doing it. So, what the mind does, the mind is very cruel and smart. The mind tells you to make excuses to justify your acts, even though deep down you know what you're indulging in is not doing you any good. You'd say, yeah, what if I smoke? I go for a run every day, I eat healthy, I have fruits and vegetables every day, I only smoke like 1 cigarette a day. These are excuses that you come up with. And in this case, you'd say, I only jerk off once a week. I don't watch hardcore porn in which people are abused. I watch softcore. Oh, I only watch porn but I don't jerk off. These are excuses. What if you don't jerk off and only watch porn? Go utilize that time somewhere productively, somewhere where it gives you dividends that will actually push you towards a better life. And if you still think you aren't addicted to porn, porn is not addictive and it's not doing any harm to you, why don't you take it up as a challenge and don't watch porn at all? And try to ask yourself this question: what good is it doing to you? If you're watching porn religiously, regularly, every day, for hours and hours, there must be something good that is doing to you, isn't it? And you might argue, yes, it's giving me happiness, it makes me feel relaxed, but that's just short term pleasure. What does it do to you in the long run? It ruins your life. You feel demotivated to complete your pending tasks, to complete your backlogs, to do simple everyday chores. You will feel like it's an impossible task. That's what porn addiction, dopamine addiction makes you feel like. It sucks the living energy out of you, it sucks the life out of you, it sucks all your motivation, all your intrinsic potential out of you. And moreover, it warps your ideas about the real world because life in porn is never ending. There's novelty with a click of a button. You get instant gratification whenever you feel like it. You don't have to work for it. After millions of years of evolution, sure, humans have evolved, but a part of our brain, the limbic brain, has still not evolved. It still can't differentiate between porn, masturbation, and real sex. It just can't. And what is the priority of a living species? What is the function of a species? To pass on their genes. So the limbic brain, it treats porn as if it's a mating opportunity. And let's talk about your ancestors for a while. Your ancestors never really had this amount of exposure to a mate than youngsters these days have every day, every moment. If you don't like a video, you skip to the next one, the next, the next, the next, until you are satisfied. There's literally no hard work you are putting in to achieve something, and you do it every day. It's a telltale sign that you are addicted, but you just won't accept it because you are in denial. But deep down, you do know that it's not good for you in the long run. It's not doing you any good. Even if it's not bad per se, it's not doing you any good in your life, in your career, in your relationships. with your family, with your friends, with your partners. It's not doing you any real good. It's just giving you momentary pleasure. So instead of working hard toward your ambitions, your desires, your career, your dreams, which gives you real fulfillment, real satisfaction, you start chasing short term happiness because you think this sustains, but it doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. A pursuit of a meaningful life gives you real happiness, which lasts. Why is it that every time after you jerk off, after you bust a nut, do you feel exhausted? Why is it that the happiness fades away and you have to do it all over again to gain the same amount of pleasure? Which also, by the way, recedes. You develop a tolerance, a dopamine tolerance. Even more amount of dopamine is required to give you the same amounts of pleasure. It's no different than being a drug addict, and I'm not making this up. So, rule number one to better your life as a young man is to quit porn, is to quit PMO. If you don't believe that you're addicted to it, try taking it up as a challenge. And let's say, even if you manage to go off of porn for a long time, doesn't mean it's still doing you any good. You should rather spend that time pursuing your career, to better your grades, to develop your hobbies, to read more books, to talk to your family and friends. Spend your time wisely. I would just like to end this video by saying that if you cannot do the things you do alone in front of people, you're probably doing the wrong thing. Think about it. You will never walk alone. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.